So Samsung has announced and released the Galaxy S20 Ultra, Galaxy S20 Plus, and Galaxy S20, as well as Galaxy Z Flip. I actually made a video already on the Galaxy Z Flip and how it's extremely fragile, but the Galaxy S20 being $1,400 and having a brand new camera setup begs the question, is the Galaxy S20 better than the iPhone 11? And did Samsung make a better smartphone than Apple? So let's get started. Okay, so if you pay for a $999 iPhone 11 Pro, you can get a normal lens, a telephoto lens which is 2x zoom, and ultra wide. For that same $1,000, you can get a Galaxy S20. The Galaxy S20 does not have a cheaper option that goes down to $700 like the iPhone 11 is, that has a dual camera. There is no such thing. You have to pay at least $1,000 to get the latest Samsung. It is a very different strategy from Samsung. Samsung has decided they want to start making higher end smartphones because since they already offer much cheaper smartphones than Apple does at maybe $100, $200, $300, they also want to increase the range to have even higher priced smartphones. So next up is the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is $1,100, same triple camera. But if you pay an extra $100 on top of that, you can get Galaxy S20 Plus. It's going to have triple camera, time of flight sensor, and will have true depth sensing and a lot more features that the iPhone 11 Pro doesn't have. But you gotta remember that it is more expensive. All three phones have the 120 hertz. And if you pay $1,400, $300 more than the 11 Pro Max, you can get a Galaxy S20 Ultra with a quadruple camera setup, except it has 10x zoom, 108 megapixels, and in a lot of ways, it is better than the iPhone 11 Pro. Does that make it better than the iPhone 11 Pro? It does have a better camera. It does have a lot of these different things that give the user more options. It does have 120 hertz, and it is much larger. But Apple still has Face ID. Face ID is much more reliable for me. Some people, Face ID isn't very reliable. Fingerprint reader is more reliable. I personally prefer Face ID. Just my opinion. The ecosystem of being able to airdrop files. You make something in Photoshop. You write a note. You make anything basically on your Mac. Or you take a picture on your phone. You can airdrop them between. If you're working on a note or on a website on your phone, it'll pop up at the bottom corner on your Mac. Click that, you can be on the same website. And all of these features like these make the ecosystem worth it. Apple has, in my opinion, the greatest ecosystem. There's no other ecosystem that has all of these features and can compare to Apple's. Apple has the Apple Watch. They have the iPad. They have their Mac line. They have iPhone line. They have AirPods. And they all work together super seamlessly. The AirPods easy pairing, and all of these different features that no one has really tried to compete with. And while the Galaxy S20 does have a lot of good specs, it can't compete with that ecosystem. And at the same time, it doesn't have the Face ID. And iPhone 11 Pro still has the A13 chip, which is much faster. But even though the iPhone 11 Pro does have these different things, it would be nice if Apple had these different features. But should they? Should Apple make a $1,400 phone? I think that they could make a really good competitor without making the price $1,400. It's weird to see Apple as the budget option, but I think they can continue to keep themselves not having to make a $1,400 phone to compete with the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Because at the end of the day, there's not really a lot of competition. Not many people are going to buy this Galaxy S20 Ultra. It's mainly made for celebrities. Like I saw that Shaq got one. He's a celebrity. He doesn't worry about having to pay $1,400 for a phone. He doesn't really care. He just wanted to get a nice expensive camera. But Samsung has definitely made a really good camera and a really good display. Apple is known to use a specially designed display just for them, created by Samsung. It's not that Apple is using a lesser down worse version of Samsung's glorious displays. Usually Apple uses the exact same display but fit to Apple's certifications. For example, last year the iPhone 11 Pro had the same exact display tech as Galaxy S10 and Note 10, but it had higher color accuracy because that's what Apple ordered, that's what Samsung delivered to them. I think it's a common misconception that Apple uses the exact same display or some watered down cheap display that Samsung trashed out and that makes them worse. No, it's not how it works. But since they use that same display, I think that since Samsung is making this new 120Hz display and Apple's known to use their displays, they could bring that 120Hz to the iPhone. Apple was already rumored to be bringing a 120Hz display like they have on their iPad Pros, so it would make a lot of sense. And with the camera. So 108 megapixels, it's okay. It's a good idea. It's different. It's different from a lot of other things we've seen before. But companies aren't really trying to pack as many megapixels as they can. Companies are more trying to create the best color accuracy, the best lighting. For example, smartphones have had 12 megapixels for a long time. Some cheaper smartphones have more megapixels. It doesn't mean that those cheaper companies have these incredible, amazing cameras that we haven't heard about it. No, those cameras are worse at low light, they're better at color accuracy, because even though it's a higher resolution, since the pixels are smaller, that means that it can't bring in as much light, colors can't be as good, and that's how it works. Now, Samsung is making an extremely large 108 megapixel camera in order to combat this, and I think that it's a great idea. I think we're going to have to see how it plays out. We have to see how the low light performance is and how all of these different things are. I think maybe Apple could raise it to maybe 32 or 64 megapixels, but focus really on low light and beat them at that. Because at the end of the day, when you take a picture with your phone, if you compare something like an iPhone 6s and an iPhone 11 Pro, the iPhone 11 Pro will definitely look much better because of the better color accuracy, the better low light performance, and the general increase in size of the megapixels. Not because there's more megapixels and there's a higher resolution, but because since the megapixels are larger, they can take in more light, they can get better colors because of the fact that they can take in more light. The fact that Samsung is putting 108 megapixels means that the resolution will definitely be a lot better, right? You're definitely going to get much higher resolution pictures, but they're not going to be as crisp, and I think that Samsung making the sensor larger definitely fixed that, but you're not really going to notice that 108 megapixel resolution. What you really notice is better color accuracy, better low light, and why I think it's better if, even though that this is yes a big sensor, if they had went with something like maybe 64 or 32 or something around there, you would have noticed how much better the camera is because of the fact that the megapixels are much larger. What I think Apple should do is maybe go with something like a 32 or 16 or 64, but not go all the way up to 108, so that they can increase the low light performance and they can keep their sensor to be extremely good without having to sacrifice on low light and color accuracy, but still have an extremely high resolution, and maybe even higher resolution than the previous gen. The higher megapixels allows it to be 8K. I don't really see the point of 8K, right? A lot of Samsung TVs, specifically made by Samsung, already upscale the resolution of the content you're watching if you're watching it in 4K. So if you take a 4K video on your iPhone today, you put it onto an 8K TV, it's already going to be able to turn it into 8K without you shooting it in 8K. I guess that it's shooting it naturally on its own makes it a little bit better, but it's just kind of pointless in my opinion. It's not really that useful. No one really has an 8K TV. Even in the future, they're going to be able to change it automatically. You're not really going to watch videos that you shot like 5 years ago anyway. Very rarely are you going to watch videos and you're going to need it to be in that exact perfect resolution. So I don't see the point. But the zoom is very intriguing. So at 10 times zoom, it looks decent. It looks like a good camera. At maybe 20, 30 times zoom, it looks okay. But Samsung is advertising 100 times zoom. At that much zoom, it's kind of pointless, right? All of it looks like if you zoom in 10 times on an iPhone. Sure, if Apple advertised 10 times zoom, right? It sounds really cool, but it looks garbage. 10 times digital zoom doesn't look very good. If you do 100 times digital zoom, sure, it can do it, right? If you want to be periscoping out of your window, sneaking up on people with 100 times zoom, but it looks very bad. So I don't see the point in that. I think they should have advertised it at 10 times. I see why you would want to have 10 times optical zoom and put maybe some smart chip performance and some AI to add some zoom and some type of smart zoom, but also put a little bit of hardware in there, maybe 5 times zoom, but with the hardware and the software working together, it looks like 10 times. And you can put that technology and make the same type of technology without having to put in all the extra hardware and putting the prices up. We did hear that the iPhone 12 Pro Max would have larger sensors than the iPhone 12 Pro, so maybe that's what they're really planning. Maybe this could happen this year. I'm hoping that maybe they can keep it maybe $50 or $100 more expensive. Even if they do, like maybe keep the 12 Pro 1,000, but bump the 12 Pro Max up to 1,200. Just don't touch that. Don't make the iPhone too expensive. But at the end of the day, even though the Galaxy S20 Ultra has all of these great specs and all of these great features, I still personally prefer the iPhone. I still think that the iPhone is better because it has Face ID, it has the ecosystem, it has all of these great features, it's faster, it has the faster chip, faster GPU, and a bunch of other stuff. I personally prefer that over some crazy unnecessary spec that isn't that useful or good anyway. It's cool to have it, but it's not worth it over the other features I mentioned. But make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, link in the description. My name is Mr. Tech Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.